go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's TikTok, Facebook, YouTube live. I don't normally do a live on a Wednesday. Well, I kind of alternate it. I always do a Zoom session for my community on a Wednesday, but this week it's in the evening. So I've got a bit of free time in the morning. So I'm coming to say hello. Yes, how are we all? It's Wednesday, the 23rd of April. Has the post-Easter hangover. Is that gone now? Are we all good? How was yesterday? Did you track? Did you get back at it if you've had a bit of a more loose weekend with those calories? So that's what we're going to do. If you have a little period of overindulgence, when everything settles back down, head back into the game. How many of you guys, kids have gone back to school yesterday? Was that like, yes, back to normal routine? Lack of routine can also affect things a little bit. Right, anyway, let's do the top 5 on TikToks this morning. As always, guys, this is a weight loss live. If you have any questions whatsoever, get them in the comments. Get them in the comments, YouTube, Facebookers. If you've got any questions, and I will do my very best to answer them. If I miss a question, please don't be offended. It can be quite busy at times, but I'll always do my very best. Right, Joe's in at number 1, Callum's in at number 2. Kelly C is in at number 3. Sheila's in at number 4. And Paula is in at number 5. On TikTok, the top 5 is just on TikTok. You lovely people are my top 5 this morning. Let's see who else is in. Mama Bear, Official Run Mum, good morning. Donna, Anna, good morning. Maureen, good morning to you. Dodds is in, morning, mate. I've just seen your message. I shall reply, Peter, after the live. Lisa, good morning. Lynn and Lise, morning. Shell's Artifact Shop Cross Stitch. Easy for you to say good morning. Rachel 958, good morning. Amy's in as well. Good morning, Amy and Carol and Lisa. Oh, it's just jumped. Where did we get to? First day back on it for me yesterday, boss. Lovely, Lisa. Oh, love a Zoom. Yes, it is the Zoom tonight, so get yourself ready. I will send a link out to if you want to register for the Zoom. I'll send the link out after this live. So you can register, you'll get an email, and then you get a link in your email to join it later. But I will always send a direct link out. I'll send it as a broadcast message, and I'll also put it into the WhatsApp community as well. So you can just click on that and jump straight onto the Zoom. So nice being so in control of my eating, although food noise is a bit louder this week. Yeah, that might be a knock-on effect of the weekend, Paul, if you've had a bit more. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, mate. I hope you're all good. Oh, I've got an unstable connection. Let me just check to make sure I'm on my... I've just cut them off before I've even checked. No, I'm on my booster. No, I'm on my booster, so it's all good. Can I ask why I would be £3 up since Friday, being on plan, so no reason? Just carrying a bit of extra water weight, probably, Vicky, and maybe a bit of extra food weight. It can happen. We can't question our fluctuations on, you can't question fluctuations on such a short period of time. You just need to accept that they happen. Some days you'll have more food weight in your system. Some days you'll have more water weight in your system. That'll show on the scales. It's nothing you've done wrong. It's nothing that you need to combat. It's not, how do I stop it? How do I stop getting water weight? You don't. It's just part of life, right? That's how your body survives, right? But you need to understand that, if for whatever reason and when I say water weight, I'm not talking about, I'll stop drinking water then. No, water weight is just the difference between what goes in here and what comes out as number 1. You've always got stuff moving through your system. You're always drinking fluid. And for whatever reason, and water weight really is also water retention. Look, there's water weight, things that make the scales fluctuate up and down. Loss and gain of water weight. Loss and gain of food weight. Oh, you've got your bone on there. I've given Bloss a new bone. Shouldn't quite know what to do with it. So loss and gain of water weight. Loss and gain of food weight. The loss and gain of water retention. And the loss and gain of body fat. Now, water weight is the difference between what comes in here and what comes out as a number 1. Food weight is the difference between what comes in here and what comes out as a number 2, and what is digested into the body as well and used as fuel. And that's the same with water, all right? We do use certain amounts of fluid for body function as well. So not everything you drink comes out the other end, because the body uses food and water for fuel and for body function. And number 3, water retention. So the body's about 60% water. We do retain water in the body. Again, you need that to survive. If you didn't retain water in the body, you would look like a dried piece of fruit, right? So, think of a piece of, compare like an apricot with a dried apricot. One has retained water in it. One is dried out. All that water is gone, right? The fresh apricot with water in it is a lot healthier than the dry. And I don't mean healthy as in food nutrition wise. I just mean it looks healthier. Right? It doesn't look like a shriveled up prune, or whatever. Yeah. So, look at raisins. They're just dried up grapes, right? But you look at a nice juicy grape, it does look more appealing than a raisin, doesn't it? Right? I enjoy both of them. So, aesthetics wise, it looks better. So the body has to hold fluid. If it didn't, you'd be dead, right? Dead simple. You'd be dead. And that's the same with fruit, isn't it? If you have a piece of fresh fruit, it rots and goes off, right? If you have dried fruit, it can sit in your cupboard for 5 years and you can still eat it, right? Because but I don't mean we rot and go, well, we do rot and go off in a way, don't we, as we get older. But anyway, we have to retain water. And some days we just retain a bit more water than others. It can be down to stress. It can be down to what you've been eating. It can be down to, if you're female, it can be down to time of the month. There's loads of different reasons. We don't need to try and combat daily fluctuations. We just need to accept that they happen and learn that they happen. So leave the scales alone. If they are messing with your mind, stop seeing them. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. Eventually on this journey, I want everyone to understand, to have a really healthy relationship with the scales. You can weigh yourself daily. You can weigh yourself 3 times a day. And every time you get on the scales, and you should just see a number, right? And that number, if you are consistent with your journey, will consistently come down over time. But we have to understand over short periods of time. Like if you weigh yourself on, let's say you weighed yourself on Friday and you weighed yourself Monday, and on Monday you were 3 pounds heavier. The only physical way that could be a gain in body fat is if you have consumed 10,500 calories more than you've burned, right? A 10,500 calorie surplus. So you might be eating 1,500 calories a day. That's not what you burn. What is your calorie maintenance? You have to eat 10,500 calories above your calorie maintenance to gain 3 of these, right? Now, what we also need to understand is the oxidation of fat, so fat loss, and also lipogenesis, I think is the official term for it. Basically, how the storage of fat from calories, right, is normally a day or so behind. So what you're seeing on Monday isn't what you did on Sunday. It could be definitely maybe what you did on Friday. It might be what you did on Saturday. But again, this is why it's so important to be accountable and track calories, right? Especially if you're weighing yourself all the time, because your calories give you the answer, right? So let's say I weighed myself this Friday, right? And I weighed myself next Friday and I'm a pound heavier. If I've tracked my calories to the best of my ability, been as accurate as I could be, right? I know how many calories I burn. I know how many calories I've eaten because I've tracked them. So if that puts me into a calorie deficit, I know that 1 pound gain a week on Friday can't be body fat. It has to be something else. And I know that actually it's not a 1 pound gain. So if I weigh myself on Friday and a week on Friday, I'm a pound heavier, right? But I've tracked and put myself into a 3,500 calorie deficit, even though the scales show I'm a pound heavier, because the scales only show your weight. They don't show your fat, right? So even though the scales say I'm a pound heavier, I'm actually a pound lighter in body fat, and I'm 2 pounds heavier in either excess water weight, food weight, or water retention. More often than not, it's food weight or water retention. Excess water weight doesn't really fluctuate things massively. Yeah, and it's just something we need to understand. Samantha Wilcox, good morning. Faye, good morning. What's the best way to burn calories in your opinion? Your metabolism. You don't need to think about it. The biggest calorie burn for 99% of people just happens naturally, and that's the amount of calories you burn on a day-to-day basis. I burn 2,500 calories a day as my metabolism. I never burn that exercising or movement. So the best way to burn calories, in my opinion, is just to sit on your ass. right? And it is. If I sit here now, what time is it now? It's 20 to 9 in the morning. If I sit here now until this time tomorrow and don't move, I'd just sit like that. I've burnt 2,500 calories. For me to burn 2,500 calories in a gym would take me about 8 to 10 hours, right? For me to burn 2,500 calories walking, right, would probably take me 15 hours or something. I burn about 200 calories an hour walking. So it would take me about 12 and a half hours walking, right? So, like, it's the best way to burn is just let your body do it naturally. Now, if you want to top up your metabolism, right, the second best way to increase your calorie burn is steps, getting those in. Why is walking the second best way? Because you can do it anywhere. There's no boundaries to it. There's no you might wake up in the morning and you might have a hectic day and you're like, I can't get to, I've been to the gym this morning. I left my house at 25 past 6 and I got home at 10 to 8. So it's took an hour and 25 minutes out of my day to go to the gym and back. That's a big chunk of time, right? Not everyone every single day has that time, right? But, in that, and that's because I've got a 15-minute commute there and a 15-minute commute back, right? In that 15-minute, the time it took me to go to the gym, I could have done 10,000 steps. I didn't even need to leave my house, right? But you can do steps anywhere, right? If I've got a spare 10 minutes, I can go and get some steps in. I can't go to the gym, right? If I've got a spare, now don't get me wrong, you might be like, well, if I've got a spare 10 minutes, I could do some yoga at home. I could do a few weights. Of course I can, right? But steps is something that will never, unless you develop some serious mobility issues, some disabilities, it's something that you can build into your everyday life that should never leave you. And one of the biggest, advocates, is that the right word? Or one of the biggest things to back up that steps is the best thing was COVID, right? Was COVID. I've not put me flipping thing on. Hang on. Sorry. I did a shopping vlog yesterday and I forgot to post it. I've just posted it now, by the way, on YouTube. The best thing you can do it was COVID. Why is COVID the best example to say steps is the best thing we can do to increase? Because gym shut, right? One thing, pub shut, everything shut down in COVID. The one thing that never changed in COVID was us being able to do that, right? We could go out for a walk once a day, of course, right? But you can walk around your house. You can do a Get Fit with Rick. So steps is number 2. Next, and it's not something I talk about loads, and it's not something that I actually use when calculating people's calories. But the next best way to burn calories is eating food. Is that not a bit counterproductive, Neil? Possibly. You might think of it like that. But basically, we have something called the thermic effect of food. Whenever we consume calories, right? Whenever we consume calories, we lose a certain amount of that calorie consumption through digestion. Stephen, good morning, by the way, on Facebook, and Blue Eyed Floozy, good morning on YouTube, if you guys are still on. We burn a certain amount of calories through eating, through digestion. Basically, what it takes for the body to break down your proteins, fats, and carbs, right? And on average, that's about 10%, yeah? So basically, I tell you why I don't talk about this loads, because you give people an inch, they'll take a mile, and I don't want you guys to take the PP, right? And it's very easy to do, yeah? So basically, if you consume 2,000 calories in a day, you actually only absorb about 18, on average, you absorb about 1,800. So you're like, what? Yeah, that's true. Now, I don't calculate the thermic effect of food into people's calorie burn. Why? Because that 10% buffer is your kind of fail-safe. So when my clients come to me and go, I've been eating 2,000 calories a day and I'm not losing weight, I'm like, well, you haven't been, because if you were eating bang on 2,000 calories a day, your body's actually absorbing 1,800. So that would put you, and that's why if my clients are absolutely bang on accurate with their calories, they will lose more than a pound a week, right? They'll lose about 1.5 pounds. Because like I say, the thermic effect of food is about 10%. Now, you have a high protein diet, right? And you eat a lot of fiber, you can actually bump that up to about 15%. Yeah. So, and yeah, and I don't, like I say, I keep it as a bit of a fail safe because we're not 100% accurate when tracking calories. We're just not, right? We might think we are. You could be, I would say I'm about as good as tracking calories as anyone. I'm as accountable, I'm as accurate, I'm as on it as anybody. And am I 100%? No, I'm not. Because I always have at least 1 or 2 meals a week where I guesstimate. Right? I don't track anything that's under 20 calories. Right? So something's under 20. If I know something's under 20 calories, so it might be like my can of Monster that I've had this morning on the way to the gym, 30 calories, I don't track it. It's insignificant. Now, I only have, I've tracked calories for 9.5 years, and you might be like, well, that makes you really inaccurate, Neil. It doesn't. Because when I started tracking calories in 2016, I was over the top obsessive with it, right? I was literally like tracking my OXO cubes, weighing out my garlic granules, putting it in. And when I sort of added it all up, all these things that took a ridiculous amount of time to add up, like your garlic granules and your paprika and, your 1 can of Coke Zero and all that there. Over the space of a week, it worked out at about 200 calories. And I'm like, I would rather make calorie counting. I'd rather be 200 calories out at the end of the week and not be so pedantic and so obsessive. Right. And that was the reason. So, that little splurge, little squeeze of tomato puree, I don't track it. That little splash of Worcester sauce in me spag bowl, I don't track it. Right? Because, like I say, over the course of the week, it doesn't add up to that much. And like I say, I don't include the thermic effect of food. So I eat about 2,500 to 2,600 calories a day. So I consume 18,000 calories a week. I eat a high protein diet. My body actually absorbs at about 16,500. So the fact that I guesstimate a couple of meals a week, like a meal out or a takeaway, the fact that I don't include, it doesn't make a jot of difference, right? I'm still well in a calorie deficit. Yeah. So it's all about keeping things sustainable. What tracker do you use, please? I use NutriCheck. It is the best on the market. Anyone that says it's not the best on the market, they're either trying to push their own app. There's not many people out there that have their own calorie tracking app. They will buy a version of a calorie tracking app and put their brand over the top of it, right? So to have a calorie tracking app like MyFitnessPal or like NutriCheck costs a ridiculous amount of money. I'm not saying there aren't certain people out there, but a lot of people out there that don't, but NutriCheck's the best. Yeah, I've pretty much used, I haven't used every calorie. I'm lying there. I haven't. I've used NutriCheck and MyFitnessPal. But I'll be honest with you, I've used NutriCheck now since January 2022. I don't know many ways that it could be improved. I literally don't. For the cost. It costs £2 a month, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that I could think of that might be, but it's £2 a month. They might be like, yeah, we could introduce that feature, Neil, but then we'll have to charge you £4 a month. I'm like, I don't want to pay for it. £2 a month. It is brilliant. It's easy to use. It's UK verified database, so there's no confusion in there. It's got pretty much pictures for 90% of products. So we're very visual, right? So literally scan a product. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm having, right? You know it. I love the fact that you can enter in, it sort of puts in the recommended serving size. And I know most calorie trackers might let you do, but it's how easy it lets you do this. So let's say I scan a tin of beans. It will put in half a tin of beans because that's the recommended serving size. But it will also, you can also put the grammage in. So you might be having a third of a tin of beans. You might have weighed out 150 grams of beans. And it's just so easy to put it in. I like the fact you can adjust it. And you can do this on MyFitnessPal, but it's nowhere near as easy. And you can do this on but you can adjust you can have up to six like meal entries a day. So I have breakfast, dinner, afternoon snack, tea, evening snack, and alcohol. I have 6 different things. Now you don't have to change that. Like Rachel, she just has it as the standard thing, which is like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. I like the fact that you can split it all up. I love the week view. The week view is so easy to read, and as I track calories, obviously we entered calories daily into a diary, but I look at my calories over a week more than set daily amounts. The week view in Nutracheck is absolutely brilliant. You can do a week view in MyFitnessPal, but it's nowhere near as simple and as easy to look at and use. Yeah, so it's just a brilliant tracker. It really, really is. You know. Facebook was lagging, so I'm watching here now. No lag at all. Strange. Yeah, it can be. It can just be that Facebook's just not a great platform for streaming live on. I have no idea why. My internet's pretty decent. I'm on my booster. It's just not. You know, that's why I've moved the weekly weight loss lives that I do, weight loss coaching lives that I do. I've moved them to Zoom now and then upload them to the Facebook group. Excuse me. Thank you. Eat what I wanted. Gain 5 pounds. Oh, it's Carly written a bit more. Let's have 11 weeks into my surgery now. I'm hoping to lose another stone. I've just had 6 days of eating. I thought you were under 10 stone the other day, Carly. Why you want to another stone in 11 weeks? I do honestly, Carly. I mean this with the best intentions. I do worry about your health with what you're doing with weight loss. I genuinely do. And I know you want to get your weight down as low as possible for your skin removal, but there's only so far you can push it before it starts compromising. Like, there has to be a balance, you know. I know you're a client. I know what your height is. I know where you've come from. I just wouldn't push it that much, but you know, it's down to you. Yeah. Just had 6 days of eating what I wanted. Gained 5 pounds, but half of that will be water weight. Probably more, Carly, to be honest with you. You're probably talking 3 to 4, probably. You know. Right, let me scan up. Cheers to the answer, mate. Sure, not a problem at all. Let me scan up. Nutracheck says my calories don't. So Nutracheck is the best calorie tracking app. It's not good for calculating. There's no good free online calorie calculator. 2 reasons. Right, Very Well Fit used to be pretty decent, but they've changed it. You know, I did used to recommend it, but they've changed it, and it's not. Right. 2 reasons why online calorie calculators aren't the best. Number 1, they're just a generic algorithm, right? There's nothing personal about them. We're all individual people, and you're literally putting in wide parameters for it to calculate your calories. So it literally splits your activity into light, moderate, active. But there's a massive, light activities, 5 to 10, that might be 5 to 10,000 steps. There is a massive difference between someone that does 5,000 steps and someone that does 8,000 steps and someone that does 10,000 steps, right? So it's very, very generic, right? So it's only ever going to give you a rough ballpark figure for you to work from. And a lot of people don't have the knowledge or the patience to work from that number to get their calories. Number 2, why online calorie calculators aren't the best, because it puts you in control and you don't know what you're doing, right? And I mean that since you don't. It's like, I don't know how to, I could YouTube how to do something to my car, right? I am the worst person with cars in my life, right? And I could YouTube and I might bumble around and manage to sort the problem. Will it be a proper fix? Will I do more damage than good to my car? More than likely. So for the sake of it, I'd rather take it to a proper mechanic and let them do it, because they're the clever people, right? You know, I use a mechanic to sort my car out, right? I'm not a gardener. I absolutely can't stand it. I'm not green fingered whatsoever. So I have a guy that comes once every couple of weeks and does a bit around my house on my garden, right? Because he loves doing it and he's the professional. Yeah. Just like people pay me because I'm a weight loss coach, right? I'm the professional. So, it puts you, and when I say it puts you in control, and you'll do more damage using an online calorie calculator, because you go on there and you go, right, 1,900 calories. Oh, that's too much. Doris at work, she's eating 1,400 calories and she exercises all the time and she's not losing weight. Maybe I've put my activity wrong. And that's the only thing, that's what people measure. That's what people change, right? Your height's your height. Your weight's your weight, your age is your age, your sex is your sex, right? That's it. We can't change that. But, people will put in like, oh, I'm moderately active. Oh, that's too many calories. Right, I'm lightly active. Oh, that's not enough calories. I don't want to eat 1,400 calories a day. But next thing you get, right, So now I'll move to the next online calorie calculator. Right, so I've done NutriCheck, and NutriCheck's either 1900 or 1400. Right, let's go to TDEcalculator.net. What TDEcalculator.net determines as lightly active might be different to NutriCheck, so you put your details in there. Now you've put in moderately active, and that's giving you 2,100. Right, so I've got 1,400 calories, I've got 1,900 calories, I've got 2,100 calories. Right, let's change that to moderate. Now I've got 1,700. And next thing you're like, I don't know what to trust. Yeah, because it's just a generic algorithm. It's not giving you your ideal deficit. It's giving you a rough ballpark figure. So I just wouldn't recommend using any. Someone asked this the other day, and they were like, well, how do I get my calories then? Well, use a professional. It's dead simple. You don't have to use me, right? There's loads of professionals out there that offer online coaching or online communities where you get a calorie allowance. Now, I'm not saying they're any good. I ain't got a clue. I am good. And I will blow my own trumpet over that because, my clients, when they stick to the calories I give them, they don't feel overly restricted, but they lose a good amount of weight. I give my clients what I call the calorie sweet spot, your calorie deficit or calorie deficit allowance sweet spot. What is your calorie sweet spot? Your calorie allowance sweet spot is the calories you're going to stick to that gives you flexibility and freedom with your eating, where you can enjoy some of the foods that you enjoy. You can enjoy a pizza, a Chinese, a McDonald's, right? Not every day, but you will be able to enjoy something at least once a week, right? You don't feel starving all the time, yeah? You don't feel like it's a massive chore to try and stick to this number, right? And on the counterbalance of, but you are getting decent results on the scales. Now, loads of people want to lose 3-4 pounds every week. I educate people that that's just not realistic, right? If you can lose £1 a week on average, and you're like, I want to lose more, I get so many people, I want to lose more than that. I get clients, they're doing really well on the journey. 6 weeks in, they've lost 12 to 14 pounds. How can I lose more? I had a girl the other day, right? She's been on, and I kind of knew this was going to happen. And it's not a negative reflection on her, right? But it's where a lot of people's mindsets are. She's come on board with me. She's done 2 check-ins, and she's had 1 reasonable loss and 1 reasonable gain, right? And then she messaged me and went, I've got either a holiday or a wedding or something in August. What do I need to do to lose 3 to 4 stone? And I'm like, right, at the moment, we're 4 weeks into your plan and you're struggling to nail the basics to lose a stone by August. To lose 3 to 4 stone, you'd have to do this much more movement. You'd have to eat this many less calories. And that just, if you're being inconsistent, sticking to my healthy, sustainable calorie allowance, making it unsustainable, you've got no chance. But this got a message back. I thought that was going to be the answer, right? Then she's done a couple more check-ins and had some more losses, right? Right, so brilliant. You've done exactly what I said. Let's nail the basics. If you can nail the basics and be consistent, and I feel we can push it a little bit more so we can increase your results on the scales, we will do. Next thing, I get a message. Can I cancel at the end of my minimum term? I found a one-to-one personal trainer that does what you do. They don't do what I do. And I'm not trying to be big-headed then, but they don't, right? They won't do what I do. What they will do is tell you what you want to hear, right? So I've not told this client what they want to hear. And they'll have gone to a one-to-one personal trainer and they'll have gone, I want to lose 3 stone for my friend's wedding in August. Not a problem. I can sort that out. Here's your calories, 1,000 calories a day, 1,200 calories a day. Here's your 5-day gym program. You can't eat this, you can't eat that. Here's your set meal plan. That client will probably do that for a month. They'll lose a lot of weight. Then they'll just hit the brick wall and come off. And I kind of was expecting it. And I think it's quite a common one, right? It's quite a common one with clients because we always want more, right? But the honest truth is, weight loss needs to be healthy and sustainable. And the fact we try and push it way too much is why we're always on this roller coaster of weight loss. We do these crazy fad diets. We might lose a decent amount of weight. We hit that brick wall. We flip straight back into old habits. We gain that weight back. Next thing, you're unhappy. You flip to the next crazy fad diet. You lose a decent amount of weight. This is the one. It's absolutely amazing. I've lost 2 stone in 6 weeks. Saved my life. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing, you hit the brick wall. You go back to your old weight. And this is why we end up, you know, you might have been dieting for 10 years, but you're heavier now than you were, right, when you first started dieting. Like, how does that work? I've been on a diet for 10 years. Well, you haven't. You've been on weight gain for 10 years. You might have had periods of weight loss in the last 10 years, but your periods of weight gain have will have counterbalanced and more than counterbalanced your periods of weight loss because you've been impatient and you've bounced from fad diet to fad diet. The honest truth is, if you stick to my method, which is healthy, it is sustainable, it will be slower than you might have lost weight before in the past, but it's the way to go. This time next year, you can be 4 stone lighter. And I don't know anyone that's on this live now. I've got 119 people on TikTok. I've got 7 on Facebook or YouTube. I guarantee any one of you, whether you're currently 30 odd stone or you're currently 20 stone or you're currently 14 stone, where you wouldn't be more than happy being 4 stone lighter this time next year, right? And not only will you be 4 stone lighter, you will have enjoyed Christmas. You'll have enjoyed your birthday and your kids' birthdays. You'll have enjoyed a nice holiday to Tenerife in the summer, right? You will have just enjoyed some Easter egg last weekend, right? You won't be flogging your arse out in the gym. You'll be putting some extra effort in because you need to, and you'll be working at changing habits. You know, you'll still have been enjoying the Chinese with the family on a Saturday night, or, you know, a roast dinner on a Sunday with, you know, maybe some sticky toffee pudding afterwards, because that's the way I coach weight loss. It's got to be healthy. It's got to be part of your life, right? So we do need to, and it's a mentality thing, you know. NutriCheck says my calories are 400 a day. I'm 5'6", 5.5", 11.8. Is that right? No, it won't be. Right? If you want your calories working out, I'll do it for you. You just need to sign up to my community. You need to chuck a £5 in. No more. You don't need to chuck any more. It's £5. Right? Now, if you join my community and you enjoy it and you stay for longer than a month, it's a tenner. Right? It's never any more than that. Right? And it's been that price for years. But if you chuck a £5 in and you get your calories and you don't want to stay in my community, you can cancel it. It's absolutely fine. It will never cost you more than £5. There's no contract. You're not tied into anything. Right? You can come on board, get your calories and disappear. I'm hoping that when you join the community, you'll find it a really great environment for your weight loss journey. And you'll be like, I like this for the sake of £10 a month, £30, 30p a day. Even if I don't jump onto all the lives for 30p a day to have that, you know, I can hop onto a Zoom when I want to with Neil. I can watch the weight loss coaching lives when I want to. I can ask questions in the community whenever I want to. I can get some inspiration for my eating whenever I want it. For 30p a day, I think it's absolutely cheap as chips, right? But if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to, right? If you feel you need more support than my community, you can join my one-to-one plan. Half price sign up till Sunday. I've had 7. It's been my busiest week of 2025. Not January, not February, not straight after Christmas. This week. So I've had 7 sign-ups in 2 days. So I had 1 person sign up on Monday. 6 people signed up yesterday. I normally only start 5 people a week, but Monday's my last start date for a couple of weeks because I'm going away next week. So if you want to get on plan with me, I'm not having a limit for sign-ups this week, right? So plan writing day today, pretty much all weekend as well. So if you sign up before Friday this week, I'll get you started on Monday, right? I will get you, as long as you get your consultation form back to me. I'm working Saturday, I'm working Sunday for a couple of hours because I'm away. This time next week, I will be sat on a plane on the runway at Manchester Airport on my way to Malaga Airport. So, and I'm off for a few days. I am doing check-ins, by the way. If you're on plan with me, you don't need to worry about that. I'm taking my laptop. There's nothing changing there. But I will be off work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Right, I'll be off for a few days and I'll be back in on the Tuesday after the bank holiday weekend. So, come get signed up. TikTok profile, Facebook page, my link tree. Just need to get my link tree. 2nd or 3rd tab down. Click on that. Use code SPRING50 at checkout. And your sign up to my one-to-one is 15 quid. That's it. 15 quid. I'll get your plan written up. I'll get it over to you by Sunday afternoon at the latest, depending on when you sign up. All you guys that have signed up now, if you're watching this live, You will have your plan tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to write them all today, and then I'll read through them all tomorrow afternoon to make sure I'm happy with them, and then I'll ping them over to you. So anyone that signs up today, by tonight, you'll have your plan tomorrow afternoon, ready to go Monday. If you sign up Thursday, I'll get it to you Friday. If you sign up Friday, I'll get it to you over the weekend. All right. But yeah, it's a busy one. I know someone else that is signing up on Friday, and that half price offer ends on Sunday, right? And then it'll go back up to 30 quid sign up. Yeah. So if you want to get on board on the one-to-one, come get signed up now and we'll get you going on Monday. Hey, new girl here. I'm tied into Team RH for a year and they have their own tracker, which I quite like. What are your thoughts? I've never used it. I'm not keen to pay for another one whilst I have no choice but to pay for that, which is fair enough. I've never used it. I know they've just launched. Like I say, I don't know loads about Team RH. They do pop up on my FYP and people do talk about quite a bit. I've got some clients that have used them in the past. I know they've launched a new app and it does have its own tracker built in. It was quite funny the other night. I was flicking through some lives on TikTok and he was on it actually demonstrating his app. So I did actually watch it for a little bit. It looks very similar to Nutracheck. It's a UK verified data. In fact, it will be that he says he's got a team that have inputted all the food. He won't. So the UK verified database for Nutracheck, I think will be an open house database, very similar to MyFitnessPal, where you'll be able to, and there'll be an internal team that create that database. Like, there's absolutely no way he's created. I mean, he might have done. He did say it's cost 4 million quid, his app. Whether he's telling the truth or not, I have no idea. Would it surprise me if a full-blown, app would cost for? No, it wouldn't. I've looked into it. For me to have my bits and pieces, I'd love to have my own app. I would, and I'm not bothered about having I'm not bothered about having a calorie tracker in there. I'm happy people using Nutracheck, but I would love my own app where people can log their bits and pieces in. Just dead simple. Just boot it up. This is my weight. This is my steps. This is me, and it could generate like a progress sheet for you and stuff like that. But it costs that like thousands. It costs a fortune, right? It costs an absolute fortune. But I don't know what he's like. But I was flicking through lives of the day, and he was on it, and his barcode scanner wasn't working. He had like several products, and it just wouldn't scan. It wouldn't scan a can of Red Bull, and he was like, you could see in his heart, he was absent. And I did feel like I don't know the guy. I don't like his delivery. It's just not my thing. I know that's not him as a person. It's just his gimmick, a bit like when James Smith first coming on and was doing all this, calorie effing deficit and all that, and this. It's just a gimmick, it's a sales pitch, right? I assume, I don't know, you might have met him in real life and go, no, he's a right brash. He just comes across dead arrogant to me, and I bet he's not, and I might have read him totally wrong, but he had some products and his barcode scanner weren't working, and I was like, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? But it must happen with something like that, and I did feel a bit, because it's harsh when you're trying to build a business and you're trying to sell a product and it doesn't work. Yeah, especially on a live, when it's like, ugh, that's a bit embarrassing. But anyway, it is what it is. But I've seen the way he's shown examples of it, and it does look decent. But again, will that be as good as Nutracheck? No, because it's very new and it'll be quite inconsistent, like he showed the other night. It'll break down and it'll stop, and that just takes time. That just takes time. Oh, she's enjoying her bone down there. I've been on weight gain diets for 46 years. It stops now with help from your input community. Brilliant, Jackie. And that's the honest truth, And a lot of people will look back and go, a lot of people look back. I do this now. I never thought I'd ever get to this stage, but I had quite bad body dysmorphia a few years ago. And even in 2018, 2019, I was the lightest I've ever been. I was knocking around 17 stone, full-time personal trainer, doing a lot of fitness classes a week as well, instructing, and burnt ridiculous amount of calories, was consistently losing weight. And I still felt fat. I still was struggling a bit, right, with body dysmorphia. And I'm like just under 2 stone heavier than I was in 2019 now. And I'm quite a bit lighter than I was. I've lost quite a bit of weight this year. And my weight has kind of fluctuated a little bit the last couple of years. Nothing, like I say, I think my weight in 2019 was a little bit of not a false positive, but it was down to my occupation rather than down to what I was actually doing. But yeah, I did, and a lot of people now will go, yeah, I first went on a diet in 1995 and I felt fat and I was 12 and a half stone. I would give anything to be that weight now. And I'm kind of like that. Now, I would love to be back 17 stone where I was in 2019. And in 2019, I still felt like I needed to, I still felt a bit, I was the leanest I've ever been. I was under 20% body fat. The healthiest body fat percentage is for a male is 18 to 20%. Right? That is the healthiest body fat percentage. You need fat in your system. It's how we absorb vitamins and minerals into our body. It helps with brain function. It helps with energy, right? So, all these fitness models that are absolutely lean as anything with six packs popping left, right, and center, aesthetically, you might be like, that's how I want to look. Health-wise, they're not the healthiest. They're not, right? You need some body fat in your system. For a female, it's about 22 to 24%. Females carry more body fat than males because they have certain things that sit here that should sit here, and bottoms and hips that tend to carry more fat for childbirth. Right, so females tend to carry more a higher percentage of body fat than males, and the ranges are different. I've had a cherry sauce I bought from Porto to NutriCheck. Yeah, again, it's very, very rare unless it's a brand new product or it's a foreign product. It's very rare an item is not in NutriCheck, but you can do a quick ad, which I do quite like. Which I do. I scanned the other day. I had that indulgent egg or whatever it's called from Aldi. Scanned it and it didn't. And it went. It did. Oh no, actually, it wasn't that. I did scan that. That didn't work. It was the fishing sauce. So I've been reviewing recently the like the old 80s, fishing butter sauce, fishing parsley sauce. I've been reviewing them. That they're out this week on this week's worth of calories. And they're brand new in Aldi, and they didn't scan on NutriCheck. But you can just do a quick ad, right? And you might be able to add things into your diet. I've not actually looked at that. I bet you can, but I just do it. If someone's, I bet they're in there now. NutriCheck are pretty good, and they're very on it. They'll have a big team. It's a big company. I say it's a big company. It's quite an independent app, but it's been around a long time. It's quite established. So they'll have a lot of staff entering these products in, and it's just a case of entering the barcode in, and then putting the nutritional information in. But yeah, you can just do a quick ad on NutriCheck. So if you go into the three lines top right, click on that, click quick ad, look at the nutritional label, and you can just put in the calories, the name of it, the calories, the proteins in it. Whether it saves it per, I don't know, you will be able to. I've just never looked into it. Is it cod in them, Neil? It's pollock. Like loads of comments on this. Oh, but it's pollock. Pollock is cod. They're just a bit smaller. Right? Pollock is part of the cod family. Anyone that says, I don't like pollock, I like cod, honestly, if I blind taste tested you, it's the thing, it is that blind taste test thing where it's more in here than it is actually thing. It's the same fish. It is literally the same fish. Pollock, you never get, they're just not as big. You can get big pollocks. Get very big pollocks, right? But pollock is a cod, right? It tastes exactly the same. I guarantee if I blind taste tested you, grilled a piece of cod, grilled a piece of pollock, you wouldn't tell the difference. Why? Because they don't taste about. Right, they're about as bland and as boring a fish as possible. So it's pollock in them. But pollock is a lot more environmental. It's never been overfished. It's a lot more environmentally friendly to fish. It's also because it's not overfished, and there is not an abundance of it, but it's a much more sustainable fish. It's cheaper. Cod is flipping expensive, really expensive. Never had pollock. I'll give it. It's just cod. It is literally just cod. It's part of the same family. Right, it's literally like if you like small prawns, you'll like larger. Prawn is a prawn. Now, texture-wise, you might not like it, and I always think small, like cold water prawns, have more flavour than larger prawns. But prawn is a prawn, right? There's gonna be loads of people going on now. Is yellowfin tuna steak instead of tin tuna better? Doesn't matter. Tuna's tuna again. Don't get me wrong. You get yellowfin, you get bluefin tuna, you get skipjack tuna. You tend to be Their tin tuna skipjack tends to be. Again, it's a cheaper tuna. It doesn't matter. What you tend to get with your yellowfin is you'll get, if you get a tuna steak, a fresh tuna steak, it'll tend to be yellowfin, and your tin to be skipjack. Tuna is tuna at the end of the day. Very high protein, very low in calories, very good for you as well. So just get what you prefer. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, and it is different. It is tin tuna and fresh tuna is, if you've never had the different, it is totally different. It is totally different. It really, really is. I went through loads of your videos yesterday. Your info is so good. Thanks, Debs. That's very kind of you to say. Jem Rose, thank you. You're more than welcome. Jess is in. Evening, boss. Evening, Jess. Hope you are good. Let me scan up. I love how easy the quick add is. It's brilliant. It really is brilliant. And sometimes, like, I'll track Rachel's food for at night time because I cook it. And what I tend to do is I track my food, right? I then create a meal out of it, yeah, and I'll WhatsApp it her. Or sometimes if I've got a meal, right, so anything that we've eaten in the past, so like we're having on Friday night, we're having lasagna. I make it the same way every time. It's saved in my app, but I make Rachel's a slightly smaller portion than mine. My portion is nearly 700 calories. Rachel's is just over 500. So literally what I do is, like, I think I probably sent it to her, but sometimes I'll just make my portion 3/4, which is roughly what I do with Rachel's portion. And I'll just say, right, I'll just go quick add, lasagna, 540 calories, 32 grams of protein, whatever else you want, and she'll just add it in, and it's just dead simple. Yeah. I'm joining Weight Watchers 25 years ago. I was 3 stone 90. Yeah, I remember joining Weight. Again, it's such a common thing. It's such a common thing. Yeah. Never tried fresh tuna. I love it. You can cook it whichever way you want to. I remember they brought the yellowfin tuna out in Aldi just after Christmas, and I put it on, and the people were like, oh, it's full of mercury. You'll get mercury poisoning. You get right. So basically, like, because I said on this post, cook it from room temperature. I didn't say leave it out for 3 days and let it go off, right? I didn't, 3 days and let it go off. I literally was like, cook it from room temperature, right? Because same as a steak. So just take it out. You should never cook a steak from straight from the fridge because it's a muscle. It's tight, right? It'll take longer to cook and there's a chance it'll be cold in the middle. I like my tuna rare, right? So you can cook tuna similar to a steak. Not rare, but I do like a line of pink in the middle, right, of my tuna. So take it out of the fridge, 20 minutes, half an hour before you're going to cook it. Pan fry it, 2 minutes either side, something like that. Eat it. Absolutely delicious, right? It's really, really good. By the way, if you are worried about mercury poisoning with tuna, which can happen, if you left a piece of fillet steak on your kitchen side overnight, right, it will be absolutely fine to eat the next day. It'll probably be fine for a couple of days as long as your kitchen's not stupidly hot. Yeah. As long as your kitchen's not stupidly hot, right? Did that with tuna, there is a chance it could raise the mercury levels in it to possibly, like, very rare, but it could. If you are worried about that, let's take an antihistamine. It'll sort it out for you, right? There's no need to panic about it. But fresh tuna's lovely, absolutely lovely. It's not cheap, but it is lovely. Very, very good. But yeah, I like it just pan fried. Just with a little bit of salt. And then have it with a bit of whatever you want to have it with. It's really nice with like some Mediterranean vegetables and stuff like that. It's got a really good flavour to it. You don't need. Works very well in Asian cooking, does tuna. So if you can sort of like a soy honey glaze, some light soy, a little sprinkle of MSG, bit of garlic powder, squeeze of lime juice, marinate it in that for 20 minutes. It takes the flavour on really, really well. How's that bone blast? Are you enjoying it? Got like a ham hock foot, I think it is, or something like that. She's absolutely loving it. I normally use tinned salmon and rice, and it's lovely. I'm not a fan of tinned salmon. I think I've got PTSD. I used to have it as a kid. It always used to have little like bone bits in it. Is that right? Does that make sense? Or it might have changed massively since then. It always used to have these little like round, like quite crunchy bits in it. What were they? Were they bone? thinking they were bone. I don't know. It's just something I'm not a massive. I don't mind the flavour of it. It's something I'm just not a massive. It's just I got a bit of PTSD with it, to be honest with you. I love tin tuna though, absolutely love it. Right, let me scan down. So we're missing. What time are we on? Hey, listening to you on the train home from work. Hope you're good. I'm really good, Jess. Actually, really like life's good at the moment, and life should be good, right? It's hard work. I'm working hard, right? Always working hard, but yeah, life's good. Life's ticking over quite nicely at the moment. Got a lot of stuff to look forward to this year. In a good place. I'm dead happy with my weight loss. I'm dead happy with the effort I'm putting in. You know, my main aim this year is to be more consistent than last year, and I've done that. So this time last year, I was on it up until early April, but not the way I've been on it this time. And I just feel I've improved my eating massively. And what I mean by that is my control. I'm still on this journey, right? I will never ever be the finished article. And what the big changes I've made in 2025 is, and I started to do this in 2024, I've stopped eating for the sake of eating, right? And what I mean by that is I kind of find it quite easy to fall into the trap of, if I've got the calories, I'll eat them, and you don't need to. And I always try and use like analogies and a bit of rationale to kind of get it straight in my head. And I'm kind of like, it's like saving up and going on holiday. So I'm going to Spain next week, going on a lad's holiday, right? And I'm taking 800 quid spending money, so £200 a day. Now that might sound like a lot of money, and it is, but it's just there if I need it. Now, I could quite easily go, right, I've saved this money up. I've got 800 quid, about 1,000 euros. It'll like 950 euros. But, it's going to be a boozy one. We're going to an area that isn't the cheapest in the world. I don't want to be scrimping. We're just bed and breakfast. So, if I'm going out for a nice steak at night time and it's 30, 40, 50, I want it. Right, that's gone. Then, and if we're going out for lunch and then a few beers on top, it's quite easy to blow 250 euros in a whole day on holiday, right? But it's kind of like, I'm not going to spend money for the sake of spending it. So I've saved up 800 quid for the holiday. Anything, but I'm not going to go, right, every day I've got 250 euros, or on the last day, I've got 400 euros left. How can I blow 400 euros? I'm like, well, no, I'll go on holiday again in 7 weeks after that, where I need euros again. So in my head, the most I'm going to spend is this. And if I spend it, I spend it. But I'm not going to spend it on purpose. But I was doing that with my calories, and it seems so counterproductive at times where, it get to a Sunday evening, I've got 2,500 calories left for the week, and I've got to have my tea out of that on a Sunday. And I'd be like, right, what's the most calorific thing I can eat for my tea? Like, we get a takeaway. Yeah, let's get a takeaway. What do you fancy? Whatever. Right, we'll have a pizza. Right, well, I'll get a pizza and I'm going to get ribs on the side. I've got the calories for it, so I might as well. And it's like, well, you don't need to. A pizza's more than enough. So just get the pizza that's 1,200 calories. Right, great. And then after that, right, we're having a bit of an ice cream bowl. Yeah, 500 calories. Right, lovely. So I've had 1,800 calories, got 700 calories left. And then I'd be like, right, let's have some crisps, let's have some chocolate. And I was kind of eating for the sake of eating. Now, if I want to use the calories, I'll use them. Like this week, it's been Easter and we've had a few, I will do. But now I'm just like, no, I'm just eating the way I want to eat, not overeating. And if I've got calories left, I've got calories left. If I haven't, I haven't. And I used to say this with my coach, if it gets to Sunday night and you've got 1,000 calories left, if you want to eat them because you feel like you might have restricted yourself a bit that week or you've not had any treats yet, enjoy them. But don't think you're wasting them. I think a lot, and I kind of dice with this mentality where I'm like, right, well, if I don't use them, I'm wasting. And it's like, well, no, you're not. You're not carrying them over into next week. We don't do that. A week is a week, new weight loss week is. But I've kind of flipped it where I was like, I'm trying to put myself into a 5,500 calorie deficit a week. If I have 1,000 calories left at the end of the week, I'm in a 6,500 calorie deficit. That's great. And what that then also does is it counterbalances weeks like last week where I went 350 calories over my ideal deficit. Whereas a lot of last year and 2023, I was eating my calories all week, right? And sticking to like, this is my calorie allowance, bang, I'm eating it. And then when I would have the odd week where I'd go over, so it'd be a smaller deficit week, there's and it kind of hinders your gym. Now, I'm not saying, look, if every single week you've got 14,000 calories and you're bang on the money for it, if that's the way you want to do it, that is the way you can do it. But like I say, for me personally, I just felt there was times where I was just eating for the sake of eating, right? And I've changed it. And what it's actually done is it's massively improved my relationship with food. I had a good one anyway, but it's better now because I'm enjoying my food a bit more. It's better now. And what I'm also doing is weeks where, like last week, where I'm having a little bit of a blowout, right? Where I know I'm probably going to go over my calories a little bit. Again, I'm just running with it rather than going, oh, I need to be on it this week. I was a bit over. Like, I don't. I'm just running with it, So yeah, I'm in a good place with my journey at the moment. And do you know what? It is a domino effect. I always talk about this. Like when you're on this journey should improve your whole life, right? It doesn't matter what part you are at on the journey. I'm 11 years in. I've been lighter than I am now. I've been heavier than I am now. It when you put the package together, you should feel good, right? You should feel good. And, for me, it's not just the fact that I'm more in control of my food. I just feel like better relationship with food. I've got loads more energy this year. I've never struggled with energy, but this year I'm absolutely like, Saturday night we went out and had a couple of beers, right, at a friend's house. Nothing major, 3 cans of Bud Light, right? Normally, if I do that, I'd wake up on a Sunday. Oh, I can't be bothered today. Sunday, I got up and went to the gym. I never go to the gym after having even one beer the night before. I'd never bother about it. But I've got, and I just feel, on it. So yeah, things are good, and you should feel the same. If you're on this journey and it's not improving your life, right? Then we need to change things a little bit. You should be working on that food guilt. You should be working on, feeling more energized, having more energy than you've ever had before. Reducing that food guilt. It doesn't happen overnight. But that is how you should be feeling. What we also need to understand is fear of the unknown. Feeling the way I feel now can be a big trigger for a lot of you to self-sabotage because we don't feel we deserve it. Right? I do feel I deserve to feel good. Right? And I have been through times where I've fought self-sabotage a little bit. When we have low self-esteem and we start doing things that make us feel better, I bought a top yesterday, right? I bought a top yesterday that is, and it's little things like this. This to me is a non-scale victory. It's peeved me off because I really wanted this top and I'm going to have to reorder it again and it's £5 delivery. But I've ordered this Manchester United quarter zip top, right? It's class. It's Adidas Originals. It looks brilliant, right? And I ordered it yesterday, and I've always, probably for about the last 18 months, 2 years, been a 2XL. The odd thing, if it's oversized, is an XL, but I'm a 2XL. I've ordered this top yesterday, and it's too big. I've got to send it back, right? And I'm a bit peed off because it cost me £6 to return as well. If you ever buy anything from the United store, make sure it fits you because it costs you £4 delivery and £6 to return. So you don't get free returns. So it's cost me a tenner, and I'm not even keeping the item, which is why I don't know if I'm going to order the size down. But it's like, but it felt great that it was too big. I was like, that's too big, right? And it was a top that didn't want to be oversized. Like this is too big for me now. This is a 2XL, and it's massive on me. But I don't mind with this because it's just a bit of a slobby fleece that I wear. I've had it a couple of years, and yeah, it's just a fleece that I chuck on. But yeah, it's a top that needed to be a bit more fitted, so I sent it back. That makes you feel good. A lot of people, when we start feeling good about ourselves, we have that little devil on our shoulder. We have a little devil on our shoulder that says, you know, you don't deserve to look good in that top. You don't deserve to be an XL instead of a 2XL in that top. You don't deserve to feel good about yourself. You don't deserve to get that compliment from John in accounting, or you don't deserve to you know, did Sandra the secretary just eye me up and down? You don't deserve that, right? You don't deserve that, right? We do. We have that little devil. And because of that, that's when self-sabotaging can start creeping in. And it sounds ridiculous, but it happens. So many, I guarantee a good few of you guys will self-sabotage for nothing other than, right, your lack of self-esteem, your lack of confidence, you know, this fear of the unknown. I'm 3 months into a weight loss journey. It's not been a massive chore. I've not had to do things that I know I can't do for the rest of my life. I feel great about myself. I'm getting some compliments about myself. Those jeans that didn't fit me last summer now fit me, and I'm going to be able to wear them this summer. And like I say, we get that, that little voice in our head that says, you don't deserve to be happier, right? And it's horrible, but that's self-sabotaging, right? And we self-sabotage for lots of reasons, but a big reason is, like, and it is kind of a bit of a fear of the unknown. We don't understand what this is, because a lot of weight loss methods make us feel like crap, right? In our head, we justify it because of the results we're getting on the scales. No one's ever done the Cambridge plan and felt amazing. No one's ever done Slimming World and had to sin their food on a date. Deep down, if you're honest with yourself, you'll go, nah, it was flipping hard work trying to stick to my sins day in, day out. The fact that I was losing every week, and, you know, Babs in, whatever, Clacton Village Hall on a thingy night, on a Thursday night, was buzzing the tits off because I'm losing a pound or two every single week, kind of made it worthwhile. But deep down, no, I hated it, Neil. Right? So a lot of times we can self-sabotage because of the method. Like, it's just not sustainable. And it's not, although you're getting decent results, it's just not worth the results you're getting. Eventually, like say, you hit that brick wall. I've had so many clients that I've PT'd, and I've not got involved with their diet. They've come to me as a personal trainer, and they've come to me because they want to learn how to have a gym routine. You know, they want to learn how to deadlift, how to bench press. They want to learn how to put a back routine together, a shoulder routine, a push session, a pull session, right? And I did get clients like that. They come to me and they go, right, what we're here for? Well, I've been coming here for 6 months. All I do is use the cardio equipment. I want to learn how to use weights. Right. Do you want me to get involved in your eating or anything? No, I'm doing Cambridge plan. I've had clients doing Cambridge plan. I'm like, right, okay. And they tell me about it. And I'm like, right, so how much have you lost? 2 stone. How long have you been doing it for? 2 months. I'm like, what was your start weight? 14.5 stone. So you've gone from 14.5 stone to 12.5 stone in 2 months. Tell me what you've been doing. Shake for breakfast, bar for lunch, pouch of food, 300 calorie pouch of food for tea. I'm like, and I used to say to him, I said, like, are you not starving? Yeah, all the time. Right? Do you not feel like crap? Yeah, all the time. But I've lost 2 stone, Neil. And I'm like, is it really worth it? And a lot of them will go, yeah, it's great. I love seeing that on the scales. Eventually, it stops feeling worth it, right? And it's like, no, you're right, Neil. I feel like absolute garbage. Yeah. So that can be a reason for self-sabotage. Just the method. It's just, eventually it just becomes unsustainable. But a lot of it can be mentality, yeah. Weight loss groups only ever made me feel shame, and I don't need that on top of how I already feel done, 100%. Especially when, I've seen it so many times, or heard different horror stories about, things like getting criticised. I've been on holiday, I've gained a pound. Amazing. I would say that to all my clients. I had 2 clients check in this week. It's been Easter holidays. They've been abroad, right? And literally, they were like, this week's check-in, and last check-in, they might have been £218. This check-in, the 221 pounds. They've gained £3, but they've been to Tenerife for a week. And I'm like, amazing check-in. Yes, you've gained £3, but you've gained £3 from being on holiday. From your progress sheet, the last time you went on holiday, which was last September, right, you gained £7, right? So you've gone on holiday, you've enjoyed yourself, but maybe just been a little bit more mindful for whatever reason. and you've only gained 3. So you've made some improvements there. But look, in my eyes, if you were back off holiday 2 days ago and we're just seeing a £3 gain on the scales, that's a win. I applaud people for that, because I go on holiday and I can gain 10, 12 pounds in a week. Not fat. And then I say to my clients, and that £3 that you've gained, you might have lost a bit already, but there'll be a bit of extra water retention in there. So we'll get rid of that. And you probably gain maybe £1 at a push, £2 of body fat. That'll be gone in 2 weeks. Crack on. Right? Whereas, people like they go on holiday. Oh, well, did you not send your food on holiday? No, Barbara, I didn't. I literally have just been on a £3,000 holiday that we've saved up for all week. If you think I'm going to go to the breakfast buffet in the morning and sin me flipping, fresh omelette that Pedro's made for me, and then me pina coladas by the pool, you're absolutely living in cloud cuckoo land, Chuck. I went on holiday. I've had a great time for a week. I've gained a flipping pound. Do you know what I mean? If I really put my mind to it, I could shit a pound. So pipe down, love, right? And applaud me for only gaining £1 on holiday, because I have been more mindful. I have watched things a little bit more than I would do normally, right? So, chill your beans. But they don't do that. You do get fat shamed for it. And I don't know if it's because, it's against my results. I want to see losses every week. Because you'll log them. If you're a Slimming World consultant, if you're a Slimming World consultant, you probably have to log your results with, I don't know, who's been a Slimming World consultant? Do you just have a franchise, or do you have to log your results with head office, or does it reflect, do you get different bonuses for more weight that people lose or anything? I don't know, you might not be, you might just get your £5 a week from people that pay and you don't pay any commission to Slimming. I have no idea. There we go. Did you find your B choice bread in Spain, Barbara? No, I didn't. I literally ate 500 sins a day, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it was worth every single one. Now I'm back. I'm going to get back to my journey and let's crack on. But you don't. I lost so quick on Cambridge. It really wasn't worth it. Gained it all back and more. 100%. Horrible diet. One of the worst there is, like Azanti, Cambridge, Slim Fat, all these 800, any diet method that puts you in under 1,000 calories a day. I don't know how they're legal. I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't how they're allowed to be sold, right? Because if you're an adult, I don't care whether you weigh 10 stone or 80 stone, right? Eating 800 calories a day is going to be very detrimental to anyone's health. And so I just have no idea why there's no regulation around them. I don't understand it. I literally don't. Right, I've just seen the time. I'm going to go because I am hungry. Yogurt bowl going in this morning. Didn't have one yesterday. Didn't have breakfast yesterday. In fact, yesterday I ate 1,800 calories. I had a 471 calorie lunch. I had 1,000. My tea ended up. My tea was meant to be 925 calories, but Rachel left some of her salt and pepper chicken because it was too spicy for her, so I ate that. So my tea was nearly 1,100 calories, and then I had one of my banana and oat blueberry protein bar. Oat bars, recipes on YouTube if you want to go check them out. In bed last night, they are sensational. They're absolutely amazing. They really are. Blowing on trumpet on that. They're delicious. So I had 1,800 calories yesterday. So I was 350 over on, it was about 250 over on Monday. So I paid that back and banked 500 calories for the weekend. Today's eating is, I'm going to have a big yogurt bowl now with peanut butter, 500 calories. I am doing chicken bacon, ranch loaded potato skins. I need to think of a snappier name, but I can't. But basically, yeah, that's what I'm having for lunch. Each potato skin is 180 calories for half a jacket spud filled with chicken, bacon, cheese, or all that. So I don't know whether I'm having 2, which would be 360, or 3, which would be 540 of those. With salad on the side. I'm going to make 4, but I don't know whether to have 2 with a big side salad and then have another 2 as a meal prep, because you'll be able to have them as a meal prep. Because tonight's pizza enchiladas, and if each enchilada is 400 calories, so if I have 2 of them, that's 800. With a salad, it'll be about 900. So, and I'm trying to stick to 2,100 calories today. So anyway, but that's my eating today. And then tomorrow dinner time, I am making quarter pounder with cheese, loaded fries. I was going to make them today, but Rachel was like, she doesn't like beef mince, and she thought I was doing it the way I do my Big Mac salad with quarter pounder burgers chopped up. But she doesn't mind a burger, but she's not a massive fan of just like mince. And that's what it's going to be. So that's tomorrow's eating. And then I don't know what we're having for tomorrow night for tea, actually, because we were meant to be having enchiladas tomorrow night and the quarter pounder fries tonight. But anyway, I'll sort that out. Enjoy your brekkie and have a great day, Neil Murray. Thank you very much. Right. Yeah, I'm out of here. Just going through the airport and flying will make you put on waterway, let alone enjoy it. What? Just going through the airport and flying will make you put. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. My legs come back from holiday so swollen. That's where I store a lot of my waterway when I come back. I literally get like Gladys cankles when I come back from waterway. From holiday. Apologies to anyone called Gladys. Why I call them Gladys cankles is anyone that's called Gladys seems to have cankles. Don't know. You've got to come on and go, I'm Gladys Neil, and I've never had a cankle in my life. But please don't shoot me. It's just what I call them. I'm just back from a 3-week holiday and put on £3. Sensational. I do worry sometimes. I'm like, if you've got an holiday for 3 weeks and only gained £3, how good has that holiday been? But it is very good. Very, very good that you've had that control. Right. I'm out of here. It's been a pleasure as always. I am back tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If you're on Planner in the Community, if you're not on Planner in the Community, why aren't you joining? Come join the community. Come get on Plan. All the details are in my link tree on Facebook, YouTube page, and you guys on TikTok. Click on the link in profile. And you can sign on Plan, 15 quid. Just join the community for a £5, get all your calories. Come on Plan, get a full plan to follow, check-ins with me. The first tab in my link tree is an inquiry form. Send over an inquiry form if you want. If you are on Planner in the Community, I'll be back this evening about 8 p.m. I might get it started a little bit sooner. But around about 8 p.m, we've got the Everything Weight Loss Soon session for you people that are on Plan in the community. So we will see you then. TikTok, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. if you're not on Planner in the Community. And you guys over here on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, I will see you. If you're on Planner in the Community, we've got a Zoom session tonight around about 8 p.m. I might get it going a little bit sooner, but it will certainly be running at 8 p.m. If not, if you just follow me on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, I'll be back 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.